All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another great episode of Laptops on the Field. My name is Alex, and today I'll be joined by my good friends Jeremy,
Hello.
Harrison,
What's up?
and Bonnie.
To barrel roll, press Z or R twice.
I can't believe you started out with that. So what are we doing today?
We're doing a lot of stuff today.
We have a
So,
lot of catching up to do.
The first episode of 2019. Say what?
in February, because we can't ever find a guy to record, and then when we find a guy to record, none of us are here. So it's just been a cluster, and hopefully we'll remedy that. Anyway,
We have remedied that. I am the new recording guy for the moment.
Good stuff.
hallelujah. Praise Jesus for that. Anyway, so there's been a lot of MLB news lately and for the past month. You guys want to start with the most recent big signings?
Sure, why not?
All right. So the Mariners signed a free agent out of Japan, and I'm sorry if I butcher this. Yusi Kikuchi?
Oh my God.
I believe it's
Did I put
Yusei Kikuchi.
You say, yeah.
Yusei Kikuchi. Okay. They signed him to a
3-year, I believe, around $27 million.
Yeah, let me check it.
I got it. Yeah, 4-year, 27 million.
4-year, 27. All right, I was
Four-year,
close.
$27 million contract, which is
And
But
he's
there
27 years old, too.
yeah,
There's
it's pretty
also
good.
options that escalate that to 7 years, like 80,
Oh.
90 million.
So they've got this guy
That's
locked
good.
down.
Yes.
Mhm. That's good. That's a good deal for them. That's a good deal for the Mariners because they potential Japanese superstar coming in. I think, and the deal's great for Kikuchi because the Mariners will be limiting his innings. I think this year. I don't know about next year, but we'll see him throw maybe about 100, 110 innings this year. So I think so, and I think the signing really will pan out for the Mariners. In the long run, I think.
Yeah, I think it was a good time during the kind of the Mariners transition. They're in kind of a transitional period right now in their franchise, and I think it was a good time right now to kind of explore the international market, see what they can get. And Kikuchi was kind of the big one. And there's a little bit of risk involved, but with the Mariners, it's a more worth it sort of risk to take than say the Yankees trying to get in on that. I know a lot of people in the Yankees fan base, speaking as a Yankees fan, a lot of people were interested, but there were a lot of cautionary voices as well saying, don't indulge this too much. It might not work out when we're in the middle of a title run. So for the Mariners, who are doing a bit of a soft rebuild right now, I think it's a prudent move, and if it really works out, then it really works out. They've got him for a long time. They've got a lot of options.
Yeah. Another thing is that with the Yankees is that there might be some sentiment there left over from the Hideki Harabe in New York.
I mean, we have Tanaka, so I think it's I think we're okay on that level.
Yeah, I guess.
With how much Yankees fans wanted us to get Shohei Ohtani, I think the international free agent fervor is very much there in New York.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's not like it once was, where it was kind of very unproven.
Yeah.
Now it very much is.
He's rated as the number 45 prospect by Baseball America.
That's good.
Oh, so they still have him on. I guess that makes sense. Still having him on prospect list.
Baseball America doesn't account age generally, especially if it's like
foreign prospect.
This kind of yeah, so they still included him in the prospect rankings because they do that.
Yeah,
I think he left.
We'll get to the prospect rankings later.
Yeah, I think he left a year late from Japan, but posting system. What are you gonna do?
hmm
They've reworked that this year, didn't they?
Yeah, they have. I think they have. And it's a lot more friendlier to international free agents and teams in Japan and Taiwan mainly. So it worked out. So it worked out for both teams.
You don't really
for both
hear about a whole lot of
leagues.
Taiwanese baseball players coming to the MLB, though. Maybe one or two, but I don't know any off the
I
top of
mean,
my
wait.
head.
The big one is Wei Yin Chen, but that's a market that MLB is slowly starting to explore more.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I think
my
it's
old boy
people-
Chin Ming Wong was a Taiwanese superstar, I suppose. For a while, he was lighting everything on fire. I mean, he was never sensational. I mean, his lowest ERA was like around 3.6, but he had 19 wins, and back in 2006, I believe, and back then wins were something. He finished number 2 in Cy Young voting.
Yeah. Well,
He threw a lot of innings, didn't give up too many runs. Wasn't ever a strikeout guy though. So, but I'm digressing.
Baseball Reference says that there have been 14 total Taiwanese baseball players in the MLB.
Really?
Yeah, 14.
I know Wei Yin Chen's one of them.
Yep, Wei Yin Chen is the one
In
with the.
terms of WAR, wins above replacement, career Ming Wong's still far and away the highest.
Yeah, Wang.
4 over Wei Yin Chen, who's number 2.
Chen
Yeah.
Ming Wang.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, as you said, second in the Cy Young in 2006.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which was silly, but that's hindsight, and it was very different back then than it is now.
Mm-hmm.
Now you have Jacob deGrom winning the Cy Young Award, which is great. He should have won MVP, but ship has sailed a long time ago.
In a galaxy far, far away.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Blue, what do you think of the deal with Kikuchi?
I mean, I think it's a good deal. I think it fits very well into the intended window that they're trying to pursue with adding Domingo Santana and other players who have 4 or 5 years of control left, if that. So I think overall it's a smart deal on the Mariners' end.
All right. Speaking of the Mariners, they signed Hunter Strickland to, I believe, a 1 or 2 year deal.
So I'm gonna interrupt real quick. It's a 1-year deal, but they have arbitration control, I think, for the next 3 years.
All right. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, Strickland.
All right.
Whoo boy, this guy is he's interesting. I think we all know Strickland for the fact that he can't beat Bryce Harper and has an eternal rivalry with him, which Harper always seems to win. But
this is why
on the mound or the fist fight, which I think is pretty funny.
We really, really need to cheer for Bryce Harper to go to the AL so that these guys can continue to be fucking idiots.
Yeah, because man, if Harper signs with the Phillies, he signs with the Nationals, who knows if we're going to see those teams, the Mariners, square off against Harper, and we're probably not going to see it all that often at all. So Bryce Harper to the A's, everybody, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Bryce Harper to the A's.
The mystery team.
Bryce Harper to the Mariners. That way we can see Hunter Strickland and Bryce Harper fight in the dugout, just like
not Papelbon 2.0.
I hate Papelbon.
My God, it literally would be Papelbon. Jesus, it literally would be Papelbon 2.0. Because Strickland figures to kind of be the closer, or would that be somebody else with the Mariners?
It would probably be him. I mean, maybe Anthony Swarzak, but realistically, I would call Strickland the front runner.
Yeah, with Diaz gone, they really don't have too many people with experience in that role. But Strickland's lone experience in that role hasn't been really all that good. He was best as a setup man.
Yeah, but when you have pieces that can
you gotta do, I suppose.
Zach Britton is going to be a setup man, and he's always been known as. By the way, Zach Britton is now being spelled with a Z-A-C-K instead of Z-A-C-H. That's really funny.
That's the biggest news of the offseason right there.
It is.
Yeah.
But he was always, he was always the white hot closer. Now he's a big setup man in that monstrous Yankees bullpen, who added another signing. I think this is a pretty good segue. Adam Ottavino, another rather recent high-profile free agent signing.
I think Ottavino was a really good signing. makes the Yankees bullpen just an impenetrable fortress.
Yeah.
And it keeps him out of Boston's hands. So that's basically killing two birds with one stone.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't think the Yankees can add to the bullpen anymore because there's just so much there, and they have a ton of depth in the minor leagues too.
Yeah, we don't really need any more because right now, as it stands, our bullpen is Aroldis Chapman, Dylan Betances, Chad Green, um, Adam Ottavino, Zach Britton, Jonathan Holder, and I suppose Jonathan Loizaga, a bullpen option. They brought up Stephen Tarpley late in the season. He was all right. There's also another person I'm forgetting about. That Tommy Kahnle, of course, he's still there technically. He was not good last year, but he can bounce back, and if he does, then ooh,
Oh boy,
I'm gonna be so arrogant. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, Yankees legend Lance Lynn.
The last
Lance.
thing I needed was a Yankees team with another 100 strikeout reliever.
Yep, but sometimes it just be like that.
Yeah, sometimes the universe just be like that.
Yeah. And, the Yankees are constantly being sniped at by their fan base, who I never really agree with, that they're cheap and they don't make signings anymore or something like that. And it's like, that's total bullshit. They got Adam Ottavino.
The Yankees
and they re-signed Zach Britton.
Yeah, the Yankees only go $10 million over the salary tax instead of going like $50 million. Like,
how dare they? Revenues are up and they're not spending more.
I mean, they are spending more, but they aren't spending as much as we want them to.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we want to continue on the Yankees because another thing happened with the Yankees rather recently?
Yeah, another thing related to Yankees pitching happened.
We could talk about DJ LeMahieu.
Oh, LeMahieu? Yeah. Well, I don't want to spend too much time on LeMahieu.
Because he's just infield depth.
Yeah. I wasn't a huge fan of the signing because it's a lot of money for longer than I thought you would want to sign him for. I thought you would want to get more of a kind of a 1-year stopgap than a guy that would demand a $12 million average annual value, and he'll get his playing time and he'll probably be all right. But everybody's talking about the home road splits with DJ LeMahieu, and he's 2 years removed from a batting title, and since then, 2018, he was a below average hitter, had an identical weighted runs created plus to John Jay last year at 84. So that's not a guy that you want to have similar batting peripherals to.
Oh, goodness. What is he going to do? Going from the most friendly hitting environment in history to the second most hitting friendly environment in history?
I mean, if he's not
going to Cincinnati, he's not going to Cincinnati.
If he's not performing while playing 50% of his games in the most hitter friendly, it's still, at least he's not going to somewhere like Dodger Stadium, or Nationals Park, which is where LeMahieu was being linked early on. People were thinking maybe the Dodgers and Nationals would get him. That would be a kind of yikes signing for me. At least with the Yankees, he's got still that home ballpark to bolster his stats a little bit, and he is, he's a defensive asset, and the Yankees have had not good defensive infield play for the past couple of years, with the exception of Didi Gregorius, who's out long term.
Yeah.
So it's a good signing in that respect.
Yeah, you bring in a Gold Glover. Who defensive metrics back up being a Gold Glover. I mean, he's not a Derek Jeter Gold Glover.
Oof.
All right, come for me, will you?
Speaking of the Yankees too, because there really haven't been a whole lot of big signings as of recent.
Mostly just minor league deals,
Yeah, minor league deals and 1-year upside deals like Jeremy Hellickson going back to the Nationals.
Good signing.
Solid signing, I think. Gives them some starting pitching depth.
they might have the best rotation in baseball now too, because they've got the big three of Scherzer, Strasburg, Corbin. Then also, they have
Animal.
what's his name? Anibal Sanchez. Yeah, he was pretty good last year too.
Yeah, and then they have Hellboy, who I can't be excited for ever again, but maybe you can.
Yeah.
He's got the best first name in history.
Mm-hmm.
Hellboy
That
is
is,
his
that
last
is not
name.
biased. That is not biased at all.
But
So-
I just
so-
watched that guy deteriorate, go from like just jump onto the scene and then progressively deteriorate into a very, very below average starting pitcher.
Mm-hmm.
But he's not very, very low average anymore.
He had a good stretch last year, but unfortunately he's had a lot of these good stretches that didn't pan out. Like I remember
I
when he
wouldn't
looked
call-
decent in freaking Baltimore for a few starts, and then that completely and utterly turned around for the
Yep.
worse.
It was. It was.
Yeah,
like,
his
like
first start was like a
Washington.
7-inning, no earned run start. Like it was great, and then it all started to unravel for him.
To be
Wasn't
fair,
the-
very small sample size in Baltimore, just 10 starts.
Yes, but he only really had 19 starts in Washington.
Yeah, but 40 more innings can.
Yeah, that
Do
is a
something
bit
for you.
better of a sample size, so
Yeah.
we'll be fair there. Maybe
We'll see though.
And he's still got.
Helix is weird.
Yeah, it's not like he's like over the hill already. He's gonna be 32, so he's still got like another year or two.
He's got a little.
really-
He's got some.
Also,
gas
don't
left.
forget that Washington is a much easier park to pitch in than Camden Yards.
Yeah, and he won't be asked to, be a high responsibility guy. He's gonna be the fifth starter, if that.
Well, they also apparently told Hellickson when they signed him, we only want 5 innings from you every time you're out. So as long as you can manage 5, throw your best stuff, don't worry about coming in after that because we're going to replace you.
Ah, so he's Nate
Hmm.
Carnes.
That's.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who?
See,
yeah.
that's
who,
all
who
well
the
and
Orioles
good,
recently
but-
just signed for 1 year, not even $1 million. And I'm just getting ready to print those playoff tickets right now, baby. Carnes
Yeah,
gonna lead
love the enthusiasm.
Carnes is going to lead us to the playoffs, guys. I'm telling you.
Nate
Well,
Carnes and Renato Nunez for the win.
Yeah,
Not
but don't we need to
right.
start talking about some colors here?
Some colors.
Yes, like the color,
What do you mean?
like the color, like what the color you get when you mix black and white, and the color you get when you actually it's a primary color. You can't mix anything to get
perfect.
red.
Yeah. Gray and red, after all.
Yeah,
Sonny
That
but
Gray
was
got
such a
traded by the
lame
New York
transition.
Yankees.
Oh my lord.
Yeah, that was awful, but who cares?
Yeah,
Gray to the Yankees in a 3-team deal. Well, what became a 3-team deal shortly after the fact. So it was Sonny Gray traded finally from the New York Yankees. It was a very tough stretch for him. Nobody in New York seemed to like him. And he'll finally get a second chance in, well, another huge hitter's park, but still.
In Cincinnati.
Cincinnati, yeah. And it's an interesting, fun, new, fresh kind of team to be surrounded by. We traded him in exchange for, I believe, just
for
Chet
Shed
Long.
Long and a
you had Shed Long
competitive
in a trade.
balance pick.
Oh, that's right, yeah. They got some guy with a really long name that I don't care to look
Sandmark
up.
is his last name, is the lefty pitcher the Reds also received along with Sonny Gray.
All right.
And
Right there, San Martin, along with
Mhm.
infield prospect Shed Long, and a 2019 competitive balance pick, round A draft pick, headed to the New York Yankees.
if
And then, of course, because Jerry DiPoto cannot stop trading, he was like, "Hey,
Not good.
Yankees, I like that Shed Long guy you got. You want to swap prospects with me?" And the Yankees were like, "Fuck it, sure." And they got Josh Stowers.
Yep.
so
More on Stowers later.
yeah, but to talk
Mhm.
about Cincinnati here for a second, they got Alex Wood. We talked about that
Mhm.
last time when we actually did an episode. Damn it!
No, we didn't. I don't think we did anyway.
Yeah, we talked about that big Dodgers trade.
We did. Oh, yeah, that's right, because it was like 2 days after. God, it's been a while.
Yeah,
Oh, my God.
but they're really giving a good go at trying to remake their starting rotation. I don't know if it's going to work, but
Well, they just
So
locked
right
up
now
Sonny
they're
Gray
top
for
3.
another 3 years.
Mhm.
So said he is going to be in Cincinnati, hypothetically, until 2023.
That's
But
control.
yeah, I
Yeah,
think
their
that's
top 3 right
I
now
think that's a
figures
good
to be
extension.
Ray, Castillo, and Alex Wood, which isn't terrible, but also kind of
They also added Tanner Rourke from
true. Yeah, they did get Tanner Roark Nationals.
Tanner.
and he's serviceable. Nothing great, but serviceable.
yeah.
Roark's gotten a lot of very decent. Last year, he got a lot of very 5 to 6 inning out with no run support, so he had a lot of losses. But of course, losses don't mean anything.
Yeah.
But just clearing things up for people who go onto Baseball Reference. 16 losses and like, what the hell?
15.
15? 15.
Yeah, because I'm looking at it right now.
All right.
Yeah. And about 180 innings. So, but yeah, I like this trade all around because get rid of Sonny Gray, and that's pitching they really didn't need. They got Josh Stowers, who was a really good outfielder, I thought, and I'm like, why should Mariners? Why are you trading this guy? But the Reds get a league average pitcher who they extended for 3 years, so that works perfectly. And if not, he's really tradable. And for the Mariners, they get another really good prospect coming down
With
the
a great
pipe.
name.
Shed Long. That is a great name.
Yeah, he's going to
You
do
better
some
be the
great
sharpest
yard work.
tool, or else the Mariners are going to feel kind of dumb with a finger and a thumb in the shape of an L on their forehead.
Christ, that just
No, but let's just hope that Shed Long has a lot of tools.
Yeah.
He has a lot of tools in his shed.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at. Oh my God.
Yeah,
I will say
this dude is a second baseman and a catcher, according to Baseball Reference. That's not a combination you hear every day.
Master Dio.
Well, he's also not good at either position, to be completely honest with you.
Designated hitter.
Yeah.
He's more of a bat first, even though they're going to try to... I think DePoto has said they're going to try to use him in a utility role when they call him up. Which...
Fair.
Yeah, he might as well. I mean, I think the bat will play if he wants to be a bat first utility guy, but... Or maybe it's another Dan Uggla. You never know.
I also heard that the Mariners are looking to move Edwin Encarnacion, which is so DePoto. That's so DePoto.
They traded him just to trade him. They traded for him just to trade him.
That's why they traded for Carlos Santana, too, is they traded him because the market for Santana was good at the time.
Is Santana with the back with the Indians?
Yep, he got traded with the Indians along with Jake Bowers. And
that's right. Okay, I forgot about that.
And at worst, really, Edwin's only there for another year, and then he's basically gone. So, I mean, if you can trade Edwin, it's good. But if he's there, it's no big deal.
By the way, who's like the starting first baseman right now for the Mariners?
I would assume Jay Bruce, Edwin Encarnacion.
Right, Jay Bruce.
Jay Bruce.
It's better than Ryan Healy, okay?
Yeah. Well, it's because Domingo Santana might be playing left field. It's basically one of Domingo Santana. One of them went. Yeah. So left field, first base, and DH will be covered by Jay Bruce, Edwin Encarnacion, and person I just mentioned.
It's on MLB.com's depth charts. They have Ryan Healy at first base for the Mariners, with Jay Bruce fourth in line behind Encarnacion.
All right. Well, I could tell you right now that I depth tool any time other than the off season. So we'll see.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's see. And Yeah, I think we basically
Boxberger.
covered everything. But
Boxberger.
Brad Boxberger signed with the Royals for 1 year and $5 million.
Yeah, that's just kind of a footnote.
Yeah,
Good for you,
yeah.
Kansas City.
We talked about this at the beginning of the episode. He was someone I thought we should have kicked the tires in because he actually had success in Tampa Bay, but like I didn't expect us to sign him for what the Royals signed him for, so good riddance.
Yeah. And he really like I was also talking about this before the podcast where the entire Arizona Diamondbacks team really, but the bullpen as well, quite notably the bullpen kind of blew up. Same like in a bad way. So you had guys like Jake Diekman and Brad Boxberger having like 6 ERAs in the second half of the season, and Bradley wasn't great either. Hirano wasn't great, so that kind of just tanked both Diekman and Boxberger's free agent value, and so Boxberger's not really exactly playing on a contender this year. But Kansas City could be a good place, especially in a big pitcher's park, for him to kind of revitalize his career. And we'll see what happens. See what goes from there.
Yeah, and at worst, he'll just be traded at the deadline.
True.
MLB Pipeline just put out their prospect ranking, their top 100 prospects recently, and I know we were all really excited. I know we were that, and I wanted to know if y'all wanted to go through the top farm systems and how they, as a whole, and how they correlate with the top 100.
Well, as I wanted us to say, as I had asked us in the podcast discussion when we were in the drafting phase of this podcast, Padres OP, please nerf.
Yep.
10.
That's 10. And some of them are, okay, Tatis, number 2. And while we're speaking on Tatis, while MLB Network was doing their little show revealing the top 100, they really did Tatis dirty, because what they did was after they announced Fernando Tatis as number 2, they had him on for an interview. And I was like, what the hell are they doing? They're just interviewing the number 2? And it's like, okay, all right, generic questions that analysts ask people. And then they get to the final question. It all makes sense. They ask Tatis, who do you think's number 1? And he just laughs and he's like, well, it's Vlad.
Mm-hmm.
Poor guy.
And he basically just got brought on the show to announce the one guy who was better than him, which I didn't particularly appreciate.
That's awful. I feel kind of bad. Christ. Let's see on MLB's top 100, MLB Pipeline's top 100.
I remember
Mackenzie Gore is 15th, and he's only an A ball at the minute in the Padres system.
But quick statement on Fernando Tatis. I remember when he was a throwaway pretty much. They got in a trade for James Shields.
Yep.
And he was the number 100 prospect. Like they just stuck him on the list because they wanted to. Now he's number 2.
All the way up.
And he's going to be number 1 as soon as Vlad Guerrero, reaches his rookie limits. Of course, he's going to reach his rookie limits like the next day or something, so he'll have his 15 minutes of fame pretty much exactly 15 minutes.
Yeah, it'll be soon.
Yeah. Let's see. Who else from Padres systems on the top 100? Mackenzie Gore.
Yeah.
Who just has a lot of pitchability, I would say.
Is Luis Urias still there?
Yep.
Yeah. He had a little bit of an audition in Major League late in the year. I think he did all right for himself.
He's currently projected to be the Padres' everyday shortstop to be in the air until they bring Tatis up.
Mm-hmm.
I could say. I wonder if they move him to third potentially.
Not if they sign Moustakas. Well, probably if they sign Moustakas, just put him on the bench.
Yeah, and then just waste money that way.
And Francisco Mejia's still there?
Yep, Mejia is still there. Who I think they robbed the Indians for Brad Hand.
Oh man, yeah.
Oof.
I was kind of high on that Indian. I'm not gonna lie, this is kind of a takes exposed kind of thing where I was like, I even said that the Indians might have gone better on this trade that a lot of people are thinking. That was with the assumption, of course, that Adam Simber wouldn't flame out and Brad Hand wouldn't be like, eh.
Yeah.
Because I thought it was a great move to kind of, in preparation for Andrew Miller and Cody Allen to inevitably leave in free agency, which they did. Miller's now on the Cardinals and Allen is on the Angels. So I thought, hey, that's a good way to kind of extend the window. But, it didn't turn out that way. And now the Indians are kind of at the very last. I think this is kind of the consensus last year of their window.
Yeah.
Especially with the way that they were trying to shop Bauer and Kluber in the offseason briefly.
Yeah, and how nothing led
maybe.
to that.
Though I don't expect them to be down for long because they've already built their farm system while they're doing this, and we're probably going to make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I was with you, Jeremy. I thought that I liked that trade too for the Indians, and now we both have egg on our face.
Well, it happened.
You're not alone.
I remember saying laughing at the Indians, but yeah,
I still don't
won't
think
be
the
down
Indians
for long.
Very bad for themselves here, especially when you can't really find a scout who says Mejia can catch, and if he can't catch, then he's a left fielder, and there's not much value in a bat first left fielder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless he's Barry Bonds.
Or I don't know. I was going to say
Yeah.
David Peralta, but.
But yeah, I mean they have a few really good prospects in Tristan McKenzie and Nolan Jones.
I had a list.
Jones is kind of the big one.
I had made.
But Nolan Jones is at least 2 years away though. That's the
That's
issue.
true. Yeah. But that might end up that timetable might end up working out for them, right?
And they do have some guy named Jose Ramirez at third base currently. So
they do.
True. Yes. I mean, the thing is that if they're not in it either this year or next year, if they blow it up, they could get a really good return a lot for Lindor or Ramirez, Kluber, Bauer, and all those guys. I
feel like I don't see Lindor leaving, mainly because he's kind of that franchise face keep around.
Mm-hmm.
He is, and it depends on if they'll extend him or not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And speaking of Lindor, actually, he got injured, and he's going to be out for all of spring training, I think.
Yeah, I think he'll be ready early May.
Yeah,
early
it's
to mid-May.
9 weeks.
Watch out! The Royals are creeping up on you, Indians.
The Royals.
More like the
There's
Twins.
a team that's going to creep up on them. It's not the Royals.
Yeah, definitely not.
I know. I'm making it.
It's
the Tigers, of course.
Yeah, Brad Ausmus. No, he's with the Angels, ain't he?
Ausmus is with the Angels, which
Rob Gardenhire will lead a pitching staff led by some guy, and not Casey Mize yet, to an AL Central title at like 73 wins.
Yeah.
Do they have any more? They've got
68 wins because they went 68. They got 68 wins in 2017, and they were in 5th place. They got 68 wins, and now they were in 3rd place. So now they're going to get 68 wins and finish in 1st place.
GG, boys.
It's fine. They have face of the franchise ace, Matthew Boyd. That's currently their number 1 starting pitcher right now.
Mm-hmm. I will say they could use a nice comeback to form from Michael Fulmer.
Yeah, fair enough.
If we're going to talk about the Tigers,
Michael Fulmer, Nick Castellanos, Miguel Cabrera, and Michael Fulmer will just lead the Tigers to the playoffs.
Yeah, I was about to say, if we're going to talk about returning to form, the Tigers, if they need anyone to return to form, it's Miggy.
Yeah.
Wasn't Mickey actually good last year though? Like he got hurt.
Until he got injured, he was.
He got hurt.
Yeah. 38 games.
Yeah. His very extremely limiting line in 2018 was 299, 395, 488. So 448. So
keep that up for
843 OPS.
Yeah.
Just keep doing that for longer than 134 at bats, and you'll have something there.
Yeah.
Of course, that's also not the most wonderful stat line in the world, but it's good. for a bat first baseman who's
For a 35-year-old first baseman, there's not much better you can get.
yeah, but
Yeah.
but is that really like going to like give them a surprise run? No, it's not.
No,
We're
it's
all
not.
gonna accept. We're all gonna accept
Yeah,
that.
we're all
but,
joking here.
But if
Yeah.
they, I mean, let's just think pie in the sky. What would they absolutely need to knock off the Indians? I know it's not going to happen, but like, what has 100 things have to go right? What are those 100 things? Probably.
I would rather ask that
Pitbull
question to the
better.
Twins.
Oh my god.
Oh,
We're getting off topic.
with the Twins.
Yeah, we're not. We're nowhere even close to that anymore.
Well, if we want to talk about the prospects and the Twins, the guy who was just in Single A, if he
Yeah, Royce Lewis.
He's
No,
still
no.
in sync.
no. Did they trade Sano or anything?
No,
Oh
Still there.
no.
All right, so yeah, if Sano could actually be the all-star first third baseman that they thought he would be, and not a flameout, then yeah, the Twins could challenge for a wild card maybe.
it's kind of scary how Sano and Gary Sanchez are kind of comparable in how their careers have gone, and they were like signed internationally in the same season, and they're both like boom or bust so far.
So yeah, MD wants us to get back on topic. Well, anywho,
All right,
It
yeah.
is.
I know that this is just me being a homer again, but Baseball America had the Rays have 9 top 100 prospects.
All right, yeah, let's look into that.
Let's see.
So, starting
The Rays
with
currently, I have MLB pipeline pulled up. The Rays, let's see, their best prospect right now is Wander Franco at 13th in rookie ball, and oh boy, OPS of 1.004. Christ,
Yeah, I was
he's
following.
killing
don't forget
it.
Wander Franco was born in 2000, so
And he's number
2001, 2001,
he's
March of 2000.
he's MLB Pipeline's 5th ranked shortstop. He's Baseball America's 4th ranked player.
In rookie ball, he's gonna be.
He's gonna be an A ball. He's gonna be an A ball. They might be aggressive with him.
His comp is switch hitting Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
Yeah,
Oh my
Is that he
God.
looked like Vladimir Guerrero Jr. when Vlad was this age.
I would
Good
love
grief.
Man,
for
there-
us to get
too many
second
Vlads.
Vladdy.
And
There's
all
too
the
many
Orioles
Wander
have is Rand
Francos.
Mount.
He's like all of the,
Uh-huh.
he has 3 brothers, all named Wander Franco.
What?
Yes, they all have the same
I wonder if
first
him
name.
and
Wander.
I wonder if him and Victor Mesa were friends.
Yeah, Victor Mesa Jr., Victor Mesa.
Yep, Victor.
OTP,
Mhm.
Pro TP.
Yep.
Um,
Let's see who. Let's
Fidel
see who
Brujan
else.
is a top 100 prospect. Fight me in real life.
Well, he's currently
Brett
ranked number
Honey-
12.
Brent Honeywell. I think Brent Honeywell will probably be in.
He will probably
AAA
be
this
up. No,
year.
he'll probably be on the. He will be on the active roster. Not probably to start the year, just to get the 2 weeks for the contract shenanigans. But he will be on the
Mhm.
starting.
Which
He was going to be on the starting roster last year, and then he got Tommy
Yeah.
John surgery, so he's going to be on the starting roster this year.
He is still.
Honeywell has a great Twitter. What were you saying?
Yeah, he's still recovering from TJ, so he wouldn't be on there to start season anyway.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Mhm.
but he did get it in spring training, so his rehab might not be very long.
hmm
Mhm. I mean, it wouldn't
Reasonable.
surprise me if he was in Durham for most to try and build up innings. Like, that wouldn't surprise me.
I really think he's gonna be playing in the majors for most of his season.
We'll have to see on that.
We will. Let's see. Next one is Jesus Sanchez.
Matt-
We didn't even
And-
talk about Brendan McKay, though.
Who
Uh,
cares?
who?
He's not even
He's
my
not gonna be
favorite
great.
two-way player in our system.
Okay.
No, I'm just not in terms of who I think is the best player. I just think my favorite two-way player, as in my pet cat, to steal a Bill Parcellism.
Okay, so Jesus Sanchez. What about this guy?
He's a jack of all trades, master of none. He has a 55 grade in every single tool.
Well, apparently
not
that's good enough to get you to the top 5 in a stacked system.
I mean,
Yeah, right now
for
he's
that
a double A.
$400,000 at Dominican Republic. That's not bad. So, and he's been kicking around the system since 2014. So this really speaks to how good the Rays development staff is, because really raw kid like Sanchez can they basically built him up out of basically nothing.
Yeah,
he most likely will be on the active roster next year in the outfield. Potentially, I could see him being in Double A or Triple A as for some more seasoning.
He won the batting title in the Florida State League, but he didn't look too good in his brief stint in the playoff run for the Biscuits in Double A. So he'll probably be there for all of this year, and we'll see how long he sticks in Triple A the year after.
Yeah, I think he needs like another year, honestly. And the thing is with the Double A numbers, he's jumping from a predominantly middle tier average league in terms of pitching and hitting.
Yeah, Florida State's pretty pitcher friendly in term. It's pretty comparable to the Southern League.
Yeah.
High humidity, big ballparks.
Well, yeah, and he's jumping up to Double A at age 21, so he's still predominantly young. So give him some time.
We could wait 2 years on him.
Yeah, you can keep. Yeah, you guys can breathe easy.
But yeah,
give him a little room.
Let's get on to the Houston Astros, who may have the better farm than the Rays.
Mm-hmm. Let's see, with two top 10, with two top 10 prospects and Forrest Whitley, who will either be up this year or who will probably be up this year to help shore up the starting pitching in Houston. Yeah, and Kyle Tucker, who had a cup of coffee last year and really didn't do well in Houston, but I think he'll get a bigger shot this year. And since Blue is the resident Astros fan, what do you think about your guys' top tier guys in the farm system at the minute?
I think there's an argument, but I think that by consensus, Forrest Whitley's probably the best pitching prospect in baseball. It looks like he's going to have 4 above average pitches and a really good 5th one. There's some really interesting guys like JB Bukauskas who may have reliever risk, but his slider is really, really good, and he has a good fastball. Still working on the changeup. Pitched well in the fall league. Yeah, I think that just Tucker, I don't think his ceiling is as high as it was because he lost a step, so he's not going to play center field. Mm-hmm. So he's probably just a right fielder who's going to hit well. His contact and power is still both really good. I think it's just a situation of he needs to get a little bit more time at AAA, then come up again and really get the job. Just have us stick with him even if he struggles out of the gate again.
I got a question for you, Blue, on Forrest Whitley. Who's your comp?
I don't really have a comp for him. His comp out of college was Josh Johnson, but he's a much different pitcher now than he was when he was drafted. He's lost a lot of weight, and he's just become a better pitcher. If I had to pick somebody, it wouldn't surprise me if he ends up having a similar career to Strasburg.
Ooh.
Maybe a little better, maybe a little worse.
What's the average velocity? If you're
realistic comp, personally.
Mm-hmm. What's his velocity normally at? 95, 96?
Yeah, 95, 96. He's hit 100 in shorter stints. In fact, there was a viral video. I think Driveline put it out that he threw 115, but not like straight up pitching. Like there was some, like, you know how Trevor Bauer's warm-ups go?
Yeah.
He hit 115, which was the highest until recently, I believe. But generally,
nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Another guy you can compare it to, and just in terms of variety, just having 4 or 5 pitches would be recently elected Hall of Famer Mike Mussina. And Forrest probably has the better velocity than Mussina did. Command, from what I've seen, they're very comparable, and just in terms of how they mix their pitches, I think that's a good comparison.
Yeah, I think so.
You know who's got?
All right.
You know who's got a ton of good pitches and is an ace?
Who's that?
Ew.
Max Scherzer.
Yep.
A 6'7" Max Scherzer.
Mhm.
Nightmares already.
Yeah.
Yep. Good old Mad Max.
Except with like, oh my god, tall people. Oh my god.
Yeah,
I wish I
he's
was
got
one.
that downward plane. So he might be pitching
S-
98, but it's going to look like 102.
Speaking of the Nationals, they have a top 5 prospect currently in Victor Robles, who will most likely be, I believe, in either center or left field this year.
Center,
Robles,
Soto.
no. Soto's going to be their
Center
Soto's going to be their left fielder. So Robles figures to be center or right field, kind of changing with Adam Eaton. That is if Harper doesn't come back, which I don't know. Who even knows
It doesn't
anymore?
look like it. It doesn't look
But-
like it.
With all the money they've spent, how are they going to afford Harper? Are they going to mortgage their stadium?
They've spent so much money.
Exactly.
But
Well,
Robles, one thing that I think a lot of people recently have noticed about him is that he does not hit the ball hard very much at all. His hard hit rate was like very, very close to the bottom of the league in the brief stint that he had last year. So that kind of shows you, that kind of levels expectations with how people see this player going forward. He's probably not going to be an offensive juggernaut. I mean, he's still one of the fastest people in the sport right now, and he still has great athleticism with the glove, and he can do quite a bit with the bat, but he isn't a hard hitter. So it'll be interesting to see how that shakes out for him.
He won't have a whole lot of power, but he's got good on base skills, and he's very much a line to line hitter. So they're not going to really shift on him, and he can basically put the ball anywhere in the field. So I think that's a valuable asset as well.
How's his arm?
His arm
His arm is a 70. It's
all right,
really high.
So he's got a cannon. He's got a howitzer.
And the Nats have played him coming up predominantly in center field. So it wouldn't shock me if he was the center fielder for the next 5 or 6 years in Washington.
Yeah, he's got that kind of value about him. He still has so many tools. It's just going to, the hard hit rate isn't necessarily a red flag so much as an adjustment of expectations on what kind of player we're expecting him to be offensively.
Yeah, he's got.
It's an eyebrow raiser.
He's gonna have to turn some singles into doubles to find success.
Yeah, for sure.
Another guy coming up, I believe, either this year or next year, will be Carter Kieboom, or I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that.
I think it's Kieboom.
Kieboom. That's even cooler.
Just call him Kaboom.
Yeah, Carter Kaboom.
Snap, crackle, kaboom.
Carter Kaboom. That'd be cool. The Nats will probably use that as a marketing tool. Probably. That's really good.
For sure.
Oh yeah, that's great. But yeah, Carter hit really well in High A Potomac and Double A Harrisburg. Put a 801 OPS overall last year. I think he could potentially be at second base for the Nationals this year, or maybe in years to come.
They've got Brian Dozier right now on a 1-year deal.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's to give time for him to develop more of the minors and be seasoned. But yeah, I think thank you, Trey Turner, but with less power, but can again put the ball anywhere.
So 2017
probably
Trey
less
Turner
speed, though than Trey Turner though too.
Yeah,
because Turner is an elite speedster in the league, which. I actually talked to a lot of people, and not too many people realize just how fast Trey Turner is, which is weird because he steals a lot of bases and, does things fast players would do.
But why have Trey Turner when you could have Jake Bowers? And Rain Rivera.
Yeah, essentially think Trey Turner, but with...
Basically like Trey Turner, but nothing like Trey Turner.
We'll see.
Think Trey Turner, but with a higher OPS.
Higher OPS, huh? Or
Yeah,
less power. Oh well, we'll see how that goes.
More of a doubles guy than a singles guy. You know what I'm saying?
Fair. More of a doubles guy than a home runs guy too, I guess.
That's not a bad thing sometimes.
While we're focusing on prospects, I actually want to bring us to some rather major news going around that we neglected to talk about earlier. We never talked about JT Realmuto getting.
And I had it posted up. Damn it, I'm
Yeah,
fucking stupid.
I was thinking we were going to talk about prospects and then JT Realmuto.
Oh
I
my
mean, that
lord.
was a good time to do it.
Yep. Realmuto goes to the Phillies.
They got Sixto Sanchez.
Jorge Alfaro.
And Will Stewart.
Yep. And international money.
Yeah.
About 250K.
Yeah, they are trying to desperately rebuild this farm system in Miami, and they might not be doing a bad job at it.
Great trade for
Yeah.
both sides, I think.
Yeah.
Well, because the Phillies get 2 years of Realmuto, and who outside of really his throwing can really do well.
And I mean, Realmuto is also going to feast in that tiny little ballpark.
Oh yeah, and he'll put up about probably the same average, the same numbers that he did with the rest of the NL East. Good defensive pickup for Philadelphia, and for Miami, of course, they get Sixto Sanchez, who oh my God, if this kid stays healthy, is going to look like an ace.
There were so many people panning the Marlins' return for this trade, and it's like, what more can you ask for than literally the number 1 ranked prospect in the Phillies system?
And a top 30 grade pitcher, like a high top 30 grade pitcher in Will Stewart.
Yeah, and then a guy, Jorge Alfaro. You know, he isn't bad. He's got elite defensive catching.
So basically, they got another catcher back that will be a starter.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can have a catcher get like a 700 OPS, you're doing well for yourself.
And Alfaro does have that talent, though. It'll be interesting because, you know, it's the same kind of conundrum where, you know, how Realmuto's leaving Marlins Park and will stand to benefit from Citizens Bank Park. Now you have Alfaro leaving Citizens Bank Park and will probably have his slugging numbers dented in Marlins Park. But
Fair.
We'll see.
Fair.
I think all in all, it was a well-balanced trade for both sides. And, you know, it was something to talk about because Lord knows there's still 4 major free agents not being signed that haven't been signed yet, either by their own will or by an unwillingness to sign them. I think it's kind of on both sides.
It's probably a mix of both. Well,
yeah,
and 3 of the big 5 are Scott Boras clients. So
true enough.
Harper
Keuchel and Kimbrel are Boras clients.
No, Kimbrel isn't.
Kimbrel isn't?
I don't think Craig Kimbrel is. Let me Google.
No, I'm pretty sure Kimbrel is a Boras client.
Craig Kimbrel's agent is David Meter.
Meter.
Damn.
But
Meter.
Yeah,
I know Machado was Lozano, though.
And Lozano formerly was one of the original agents for Boras Corp when they started out.
Agents are boring. Yeah, that Realmuto trade was not.
Quickly, just on Scott Boras, anyone remember that rumor about what Mike Moustakas turned down to be an Angel? He turned it down because he thought he could get a better deal, and then he just sat there for months, and the Royals just signed him for pennies on the dollar.
I do not remember that deal. What would have been?
Yeah, it was a rumor. There wasn't any real concrete evidence to it, but it was hilarious to think about. I know Angels fans went completely insane.
The rumored amount was like $327 or something.
Oh, damn. Yeah, that's a substantial amount.
And he ended up getting a 1-year, $7 million deal.
Yeah, a little bit less than he would have wanted.
Ouch.
And now Moustakas is either heading back to probably be a good fit for him, and Travis Shaw didn't seem all that bad at second base, or he's going to San Diego, which should be interesting to play with a bunch of exciting players.
And Eric Hosmer.
Young players. And Eric Hosmer, of course, his old teammate.
Yep.
And then they both get benched, and the Phillies just waste all that money.
Oof.
You mean the Padres?
Padres.
Yeah, teams that start with P in the NL.
Pirates, Padres.
There, kitties. MLB pipeline wise, another guy I'm looking forward to even though he plays in the AL East, is Vladimir Jr. and to a lesser extent Bo Bichette when he comes up. I think the Jays system is really top heavy just with those two.
The Blue Jays have like 5 prodigal sons. They've got Guerrero Jr., they've got Bichette's son. I'm pretty sure, don't they have Clemens' son too?
No, they have.
Yeah, they do. Casey.
Yeah,
they do
Casey.
have- they
Which,
do have
by the
Casey
way,
Clemens.
he got into he was beaten brutally by like some bouncers at a club, and it could have ruined his career. But
that's
move on from
awful.
that. There was another
That's
guy though,
horrible.
Cavan Biggio as well. They've got Craig
Yeah,
Has
Kevon,
Griffin come-
the new generation up there in the 6.
Yep.
The problem,
Danny Jensen's going to be good too because even though he profiles as more of an offensive catcher, his defense isn't that terrible. Like you could do a lot worse. He's like going to be league average catching wise, but his bat's going to carry him. And in Toronto, he had a couple ups and downs through September, but posted a 779 OPS in a month with the Blue Jays.
For a catcher, that's not bad at all.
That's fantastic. But yeah, like a whole year, he could look really good at the catcher spot in Toronto.
Yeah,
So
there's a lot of very young talent coming up in this league right now, and I can't wait to see it all. Hopefully, we can make it so that we don't have to wait abnormally long for these talents to come on. Like Eloy Jimenez should have been up yesterday, in my opinion.
Well, another thing is that Eloy Jimenez was kept mainly to work on his defense because his hit tool would have been great, but at the same time he's like below average defensively, and they're trying to get him up to league average at best.
Yeah,
I want to say he's a 45, but if he's close to being a DH currently.
Yeah.
But to talk about another top-heavy system, the White Sox, they have 6 top 100 prospects, but nothing beyond that. They don't really have a whole lot of depth.
Yeah, they have Michael Cup. Let's see, Eloy Jimenez, who we mentioned, Michael Peck, who very interesting, I think.
Tommy John surgery though, so he's not going to be around this year.
Yeah, but I had a talk. Well, I don't know how much he reciprocated in this talk, but I talked at Blue in saying that Harrison for our viewers that most top prospects are in AA or single A at the moment in terms of pitching. So for Kopech to be out for a year, I don't really think we should just like discount him in terms of a prospect. Yeah, they aren't going to be able to use him this year, but most top pitchers aren't going to be able to be used this year. So
yeah,
ta-da!
Well, in a way, I mean, I guess White Sox don't really need Kopech to be back this year. They'd rather him be available next year. So,
yeah. They also have Dylan Cease, who's going.
That Quintana trade was so amazing for those White Sox. For Quintana, they got Jimenez, Cease, and I believe Luis Rivera.
And Jimenez too. That came in that trade as well.
It almost makes up for the fact that they just completely squandered Fernando Tatis Jr. for James Shields.
Almost, yeah.
Man, if they had Tatis Jr., that would be stupid.
It all goes full circle like that. Soon the Cubs will be fleecing another team.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Maybe they already have, and we just don't know it yet.
Who knows? Exactly. But they haven't really exactly traded a lot of guys lately.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Let's see. Who
Cubs
else?
Trade Javi Baez for freaking Fernando Tatis Jr.
No.
Stop.
That's cursed right there. You don't
see
the other two really big systems currently are the Braves, who have
they have 8 top 100 prospects.
Because it's Wilson, Anderson, Wright, Riley, Pache, Waters, and
Gohara.
What? No, Gohara's not in it. It's Soroka.
Oh yeah, Soroka, Canadian. I thought you mentioned Soroka, but yeah, he had a solid beginning in the major leagues. In 5 starts, 3.51 ERA, 25 and 2/3 innings pitched. Unfortunately, he struggled with an injury. I don't remember what it was, but he didn't pitch in the majors for the rest of the year. So, yeah, they've got that. They've also got Kyle Wright, the right-handed pitcher. I believe he's number 10. He just barely makes the top 10 right-handed prospects.
Yeah.
Has a plus fastball, curveball, slider, and changeup. Right now, did he pitch in the majors for a little bit? He did.
He did, yeah.
Pitched 4 games out of the bullpen.
Hmm.
That's a very, very small kind of debut there. But yeah, there's also Toussaint. I don't even know. I would be inclined to say Toussaint because I've been to French speaking countries a lot, but and Toussaint's from Haiti, but I don't know. I've heard Toussaint, so he was in the majors for a little bit too. So you see, Atlanta's kind of their prospects are kind of more in the later phases of development. So they're almost ready.
They have a few like William Contreras who have the potential to be top 100 prospects again. Who have the chance to be top 100 prospects as well.
William Contreras, of course, the brother of Wilson Contreras.
That'd be fun just to see them,
Yeah,
to see them playing against each other. That would be fun.
Maybe in the playoffs at some Braves versus Cubs, and Contreras is square off at the catching position.
Hey, that would be fun.
MLB would have a field day with that from the marketing side, anyway.
Oh yeah. Even MLB can't screw up and market that poorly.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? They're not great at marketing.
So who has the worst farm system? You would say 1, 2, 3. Red Sox.
Red Sox.
Boston.
Boston. I would say Cubs. I'll argue and say Cubs.
All right.
Cubs.
Oh well, I mean they have 2 top 100 prospects in Miguel Amaya and Nico Horner.
But
I personally like Michael Chavis and Bobby Dahlbeck more than both of Nico Horner and Miguel Amaya. I think it's one of the two, just depending on how you feel about it. Personally, I would rather have Chavis, but that's just me.
It's honestly a coin flip between the two.
Yeah.
Chavis has had a tough road up. He got a PED suspension, I remember, sometime last year.
Well, true. When he came back, the power was legit.
Yeah, of course. I'm not discounting that. It's just kind of,
I would say the
system?
Cubs at least have the excuse of having a ton of stars that are still on arbitration, and Boston is the highest. Well, they were the highest payroll in baseball last season.
And they're projected to be that way again.
Yeah, I don't think anybody could really unseat them unless the Yankees sign Machado, which
please God no.
Don't do it.
God no. Begging God. Do it. Please no.
Dumb as shit. Don't listen to the fan base. The fan base knows nothing.
You listen to the fans, you start sitting in the stands.
Yeah, that's a good little moniker. Whose system do you think as a lot of the top tier players on this list graduate? Whose system do you think will improve in terms of getting top 100 prospects?
I think the Royals stand to get a lot. But also the Rangers, because they got a lot of people that they could probably flip and get some prospects for.
Yeah.
I'll play Homer again because the Rays have a ton of players who are on different top 100 prospect lists, but that aren't on the pipeline top 100 prospect lists. And we have a lot of players who are on the top 10 of their position for prospects, but not on the 100 prospect list.
Yeah. I think in terms of high risers, like the bottom mid tier system, I think the Orioles could. I think the Orioles, the Mariners, and I think the Pirates could really move up and take some strides in development.
Yeah.
Um,
And the Marlins have been adding a lot of guys.
Yeah.
This past few months they've made. As we just said, that for Real Muto they got some good picks. Victor's technically still a prospect. His brother is a prospect. They've
Mhm.
really kind of taken what was one of the worst farm system. No, probably the worst farm system in
Was the
baseball.
word.
He was, yeah.
In 2017, that was the worst, far and away. And now they've made it middling.
Yeah, they've made it They made it below mid tier.
Every
So,
little
I mean,
helps.
Yeah, I would say it's
Mhm,
mid
and
tier. I would say it's mid tier now. But
I would agree, probably. It's probably around mid.
there's some upside there, but a lot of them were just recently drafted. So that's a wait and see system for me.
This is all kind of a wait and see, though, isn't it?
that's
Oh
what
yeah,
prospects are.
oh yeah. Some are more guaranteed bets than others, like Ronaldo Acuna Jr. and the Braves have so many that even if like, two of them fizzle out, they still have like six guys they can go to. Whereas the Marlins have two or three really big prospects, but they stand to
now.
gain more more in terms of like an aggregate curve as time goes on. Because I think a lot, and because they've hired a lot of Yankees brass that was there when that was there through Jeter's tenure in New York. So I think they stand to draft to be better drafting, and that's a system that could rise really quickly.
All right.
Yep.
You shall see.
I think like in terms of adding more top 100 prospects, Baltimore could add more. Austin Hayes could play his way back on the list. And Rodriguez could make a splash. I think the Pirates really could see a lot of their guys shoot up this list. Currently, they have Brian Hayes.
Yeah. We got Tucker, don't they?
Yeah. Well,
name's that, but
that was Houston who had Tucker.
Yeah,
Mitch Keller. Mitch Keller is who you're thinking about. Cole Tucker. But yeah, I think
some kind of generic last name like that.
So
yeah, Cole Tucker. They have a lot of guys who are like 110. Kevin Newman, Cole Tucker, and Kevin Kramer. But I think as guys like Vlad and more top tier guys, and a lot of the guys come off the list this year. I think we could see the Pirate system adding a few more on. I think Calvin Mitchell looks potentially interesting because as a really toolsy guy. Same with Lilo Sanchez. But yeah, I mean it'll be interesting.
For a guy from the Pirate system, just to end on the Pirates, or with the Pirates anyway, Brian Mitchell, who they got in the Kutch deal, it really wouldn't surprise me if he ends up being a Brandon Nimmo type player. Not incredible at anything, good on base, can play center, and is a good overall player. That's the kind of thing that would be my personal dream comp for Brian Mitchell. Brian Mitchell.
Right.
Brian Reynolds, that's his name.
Brian Mitchell is the all-time leading returner in NFL history.
Fun fact.
So we're gonna end on prospects and just end like we normally do with one prospect for our teams. Blue, do you want to start?
Okay, so I'll go with a guy we just got in the J.D. Davis trade. A guy named Luis Santana, rather. He's like a DSL middle infield guy, very toolsy. His hit tool looks really good. But he wouldn't unseat anyone that we have in the middle if he reaches his ceiling, but I think there's still a very, very good, productive big leaguer. I think he's definitely more of a contact, glove, speed kind of guy at shortstop, because I do think he'll be able to stay there.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
All right, Bunny, you want to go?
Yes. All right. As you know, before you had said who cares, but now we all care about Tanner Dodson, the switch hitting center fielder who is also a pitcher. Like the dude has made 10 outings as a pitcher because he's a rookie this year. Well, he was drafted this year, from college. And in his 10 appearances, even though they were all in relief, 7 of them were 3 innings. 1 of them was 1.2 innings, and 2 of them were 2.1 innings. So he's been going long relief. So that might just be... I might need to look up that situation, but I think we still might have held out hope of him being a kind of a Shohei Ohtani starter. Though he'll likely never be that good, so he's probably stuck as a relief pitcher. But who knows? Maybe he might have success there. And he's a switch-hitting center fielder, so it's like he could. If only he played shortstop, he could do literally everything.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Jeremy, I'll let you go. You go, and then I'll say mine.
Sure. Be right for me cover any other prospect than Josh Stowers, who was the guy that the Yankees got ultimately for Sonny Gray, though not directly. He was drafted by the Mariners back in the 2018 draft, 54th overall, so second round. And so he's played one season of pro ball so far. That was at A-ball with Everett. 144 plate appearances. He batted .260, .380, .410. That's a .790 OPS. Hit 5 homers, drove in 28 RBIs, stole 20 bases. So the speed's there, the on base is there. He hit for a pretty respectable. But the question is is that going to translate in hit? I think he'll stick around and field reasonably. So, ranked number 10 with the Mariners in 2018. Yeah, that's my prospect. I'm sorry for my mic literally dying, but
all right, I'll talk about a guy who I think is this year, or if not, will be up in 2020, and I'll see him a lot in Norfolk. Keegan Aiken, big guy. We drafted second round 2016. Currently has a really good fastball, really good slider, really good change. Like overall, very good. He's a lefty, big lefty. Let's see, he made big strides this year because he was okay in high A Frederick, and then double A Bowie. He came in and did really well because he was in better shape and saw an improvement in his stuff. His mechanics have become more consistent. And he got rid of his 2-seamer, just throws a 4-seam fastball now, which got a little bit more velocity out of his bats up in the zone. Fastball is normally 91, 93, but he can hit 96. It's a straight pitch, so if he kind of screws up on it, it'll be normally a home run. But it's got some movement, and if he places it right, it can lead to a lot of strikeouts. He's got a really good slider with 2-plane break. Pitch can miss backs, and it does really well against right-handed batters. The thing is with Aiken, what I really don't know about him is if his pitch sequencing and command will be up to snuff in the major leagues, because he'll every now and again he'll leave like a 2-0 pitch in the middle of the plate, or nibble too much around the strike zone and lose a guy to a walk. So I think his pitchability might improve, but currently right now he's a 4 to 5 starter, or he could be a 7th guy in the bullpen. And another question is, will his velocity stick? Because in high A Frederick, he was sitting at 91, 93-ish. Will that stick? So that's another interesting question about Keegan Aiken. So really, we have a really good starting pitcher, but who has some good upside. However, will he make that extra step and become a potential number 3, number 4 starter? That's the question. That's the big question. But overall, I think he's got a very good chance to crack the starting rotation for the Orioles this year at some point if he does well in Norfolk. but at the same time, he could be just another he could be a bullpen arm. I like the guy though.
He sounds like Jalen Beeks. He sounds just like Jalen Beeks.
Yeah.
I
Well,
mean,
another
like,
guy.
That's a guy who's on a major league roster who we used in a creative way, but so that's
And
not
the guy that you got back for Nathan Eovaldi.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, and another guy. Well, comparing him to our top prospect, DL Hall, he's like DL, a higher floor and less upside.
Mm-hmm. But 93, around a 93 mile per hour fastball, left-handed, has a fastball that's straight and is a home run if he doesn't locate it right.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds like Jalen Beeks.
Yeah, but he's got a good slider and a fantastic changeup. And while it doesn't have great movement, it has fantastic separation from the fastball, and he throws it and how he throws it too is really deceptive because he just uses the same mechanics to throw all three pitches. So you don't really know what's coming, and that helps
So
him
he's
out.
good. He's got good tunneling.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Yep. I think that's about it for today.
Yeah.
We'll see you all again next time. Thank you for listening. Follow us on Twitter at Laptops on the Field. And if you'd like...
Laptops OTF Pod.
Yeah. Thank you, Jeremy, for correcting me.
Wow.
And
that's all I'm there for.
Yeah.
For correcting you.
Oh,
that's what I'm here for.
Oh, be quiet. If you have any business inquiries, questions or comments, feel free to email us at laptopsonthefield@gmail.com, all lowercase and all one word. Thank you so much for listening, and have a great day.
Remember, it's Harrison's world, and we're all just living in it.